Hello and welcome to the Doctors Who podcast. My name is Chris, and tonight we're discussing chapters 50 and 51 of The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. After being taken in by the Green Man and saved from the dangers of the Blight, the group discovers the Eye of the World. While they are unsure of its true purpose, they do discover what it is when the Forsaken come. In a grand battle, Rand is forced to battle one of the Forsaken, appearing above Tarwin's Gap, saving Lord Agelmar and his men. Will Rand survive his battle with the Forsaken? Is Agelmar okay? Does everybody else survive their battle with the Forsaken? We just don't know. So tune in, keep watching, and we'll find out soon. Hello, welcome to the Doctors Who podcast. My name is Chris.
And I'm Chip.
I'm Brian.
So, one of the perks, I'm going off script here, I'm sorry, of us being in this, well, there are many perks to being in the same room, but me not having to, change transitions all the time, and
Or deal with
also,
my slow internet.
Well, that, but, also, there was also a lag, so, I was always, 3/4 of a second faster than you, so I couldn't jump right in because I would cut you off in the recording. But so it's nice to be back in person.
Yes, it is. Thank goodness.
Hi, friends.
Hello.
Hey.
Let's jump in. We are covering 50 and 51. Those are the 50 and 51st.
51st
What he
chapter.
said.
Yes. And man, there was so much going on in these chapters.
There's a lot to unpack here. So
Let's get to
we'll
it.
try to keep it under 20
70
or so
minutes.
minutes. Yeah. So we finally find out what the Eye of the World is, and from a plot device standpoint, it's just such a cool concept. It's not at all. The first time I read, I remember when we got there, I was like, oh, whoa, that's pretty cool. So I don't know. I'll be curious to see what Brian thought for the first time getting through it, but it's just such a well conceived and interesting thing with using the one power and the male side of it and all that. We also meet the first two Forsaken that we've met so far. So we meet, is it Agenor or Agenor? I've seen both. What are you?
I'm poking you in the head.
Why?
I think
Why?
I don't know. I called him Agenor in my mind.
Agenor sounds good.
Agenor,
That's
we'll
what
go
I-
with
that's
that.
what I did.
So,
So,
and
thank you.
is it Balthamel?
Yes.
So we meet those two, and we also learn that there's a third Forsaken that's loose, but we don't know where Ishmael's at. So I don't think we've seen him yet. The one thing that I didn't like is when the battle with the Forsaken begin, how quickly they just dispense with Lan, who's been the toughest character we've known so far, but all of a sudden he's involved in a magic battle, and it's like, he's gone. So, it just bugs me, and it's kind of a thing with a lot of fantasy books where they just, anybody that's this powerful magic user just dispenses with anybody that has any sense of physicality or physical toughness. Just doesn't stand a chance.
Well,
but
can I interject a little bit?
sure.
So that's kind of the like the coming of age trope, though, right? There comes a point in the book or the movie where the young, inexperienced hero can no longer rely on the mentor.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
happened with Luke and Obi-Wan. It happened when Gandalf fell in the pit.
But Lan's barely been a mentor. They're like a
He's been the
month
silent
into this
leader.
journey.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I
it just seems, it's
Hold up,
it's
the-
in other stuff too. It just
These are Chip's thoughts.
yeah.
I'm gonna shut up now. I'm gonna stop.
But the one
talking.
thing that is extremely cool is the way Jordan writes the use of the one power and the use of his magic system here with the different threads and the combinations of, this, I'm going to use a little air, I'm going to use a little water, whatever it is, that these different threads that they pull together to, build their weavings and use the one power. So I think that is such a cool construct. And this is the first time we've really seen it through Rand's eyes as to what he's actually seeing when he's didn't know he's using the one power, but now that we know what's happening, it's just very well done and fun.
Now, we all knew this was coming, right? We knew from the title of the book that at some point they would reach the Eye of the World, and I had no clue what that was until I got here. My favorite thing. So I kind of imagined in my mind's eye that they walked into this room, and of course I love playing video games, but it kind of seemed like I first thought, all right, this seems like a Zelda dungeon where they walk in, they're about to face, like the door behind them closes, and they're about to face the boss, or they're about to come face to face with Balsamon, who already got there, or something like that. But to see that it was not really what I had expected, but it still had that same depth to it. Like, I liked the name of it. Like, it housed the Saidin, which I assume that's where Sedai comes from, is the opposite of Saidin, or kind of the male equivalent. Anyway, we can get into etymology later.
Mm-hmm. Let's do that. It sounds like fun.
But
Sorry, I was going to stop talking.
I loved how Rand's reaction. The women were like, "Oh, like that's amazing," and Rand is like, back up against the wall, like, I don't know if I want to get any closer to this.
And I don't think it says, but I'm betting Perrin and Matt feel the same way.
I thought Matt and Rand both kind of
both
were hugging the walls.
They were all a little nervous, but it really spoke to me that it was that it almost, based on men versus women, just kind of had that different feel to it, and how uneasy the men were in that room. And I don't know, I kind of got this ominous sense like something was going to happen. But then when they left, I was really surprised that nothing actually happened. And I thought, well, now they've survived the Eye of the World. Now they're going to end the book. Nope, instant battle. And it was an epic battle at that. I mean, I was not prepared for that. It's almost like, they walked out, and then, like the final two. Like, I just thought it was very well done. It actually caught me off guard, surprisingly, and I enjoyed it. I'm curious how this book is going to end. We're really close.
We are, yeah. Okay, so the first couple times I read this, I think I rushed through because I wanted to get to the Rand Agenor thing, so I didn't take the time to really digest what the eye was and what it was for and all of those details. And so I took the time and I made a concerted effort to just focus on that this time. It's like, okay, cool. Because I think it opens up some things. So Agenor and
Balthamel,
yeah.
I want to say Balthazar, and I don't remember
right.
what that's from, but
One of the wise men.
oh, that's why it's familiar. Okay, great. So one of the Forsaken is a wise man. Got it. Okay. But when they're by this pool, and I'm just gonna take a second because I did mark this out as something to bring out. But this is on page 625. I think. Yeah. Oh no, this was something completely different. Never mind. That was the Green Man talking about the creation of the Eye of the World and how he wasn't necessarily the intended guardian, but he was basically all they had. But the Eye is essentially a pool of untainted Saidin, right? So we know that the Dark One, when he was put in his prison, he created this backlash that tainted the male half of the true source. This pool is untainted by that filth.
Taint?
Taint.
That's such a bad word for that.
It is.
The Dark One's taint.
Yeah.
The Dark One's taint is not all over this pool.
That's another drink.
Okay.
But it's a very special place. Not
It
many
is.
people ever get to go here.
Right. So, but
Never
here's
twice,
the thing.
except
Never.
Moraine now.
Yes.
It makes the comment. It makes the point of saying that many Aes Sedai have gone here and tried to use the eye, but no woman can channel Saidin. The alternate half, Saidar, is the women's half, and I think that's brought up when Moraine's telling Egwene about the source.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If I recall correctly. But all of a sudden, these two male Forsaken show up, and the Green Man quickly dispatches with one, right? And then Agenor.
That's a cool death.
That is a cool death. Agenor, like Rand sees that rope or that thread or whatever it's called, and I think that is Agenor accessing the male half of the source from the eye.
Right.
And
Because that's where when Rand looks at him, he sees that Agenor is not looking as haggard or as worn as he was. He's
started
getting a little more youthful.
He's starting to reap the benefits of this untainted source.
Yeah. Sorry.
Still
this
a
is still
terrible
your
word.
take. So.
It is. But I interrupted yours, so this
It's all fair.
That's true.
But then the tendrils start to go to Rand, and Agenor's like, no, don't touch it, because at this point they are convinced. Well, he is convinced that Rand is the one they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And so Rand channels, and he draws on this. And fast forward to where we meet up with Baalzamon, and he's like, no, don't take so much of it, you'll burn yourself out, then I can't use you. But it's there is so much here. We could talk for an hour and a half on these sections. We're not going to, but we could.
We could.
But I just like that I took the time to actually focus on what the eye was, and then I could put together, okay, so the chords are Saidin that the male channelers are leveraging. And then when you get to Baalzamon, and it's he's got a black chord, and you're like, And later in the books, you will find out, that the Dark One gives the Forsaken access to an alternate source. And that is my interpretation.
Oh, jeez.
That's my interpretation of what Baalzamon is leveraging there for power.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm done. Our takes took 11 minutes total, so...
Oh, man.
But you know what? This might be a little longer. You might have to put up with us. But whatever you do, don't click the stop button. We need those views. We need audience retention.
And we want them to have fun, and I think we're going to have fun in a second.
You couldn't say no to faces like this. Could you? Okay.
Oh, man.
Was I convincing?
I thought so.
Okay.
Sure.
I thought so.
Chip does
I'll
not
be here.
think so.
I'm not always easily convinced, but I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
How do we want to cover this? There's still a lot to be said.
Well, let's just think about it. The Forsaken come, the Green Man shows up and beats down one of the Forsaken in his death throes.
Mm-hmm.
But what's cool about that death scene? So he basically embraces him and kills him, but then all of a sudden stuff starts growing, and so it's the whole life, death, and rebirth thing that we talked about I think last week with the Green Man, that he represents all cycles of life, not just the green stuff. It's everything. So I kind of like that aspect of it. And even in the Green Man's own death, which we have here too, through his death, then he has a tree that basically grows to giant proportions from where he died. And I don't know.
I do wonder, though, looking at the past chapter when they were walking through all the greenery, are those other people that the Green Man has also killed?
Possibly.
Has
Quite
this
a body
happened?
count.
Has this happened before? Has this happened many times before?
So did the giant tree grow because the Green Man died, or because the Green Man killed a person?
That's a good point.
But when was the eye created?
Long, long ago, many turns before.
Last Thursday.
Well, was it after the last dragon? After Luz, or was it older?
I feel like it was before. I thought it was there by the creator.
No, because it was created by the male channelers and the female channelers.
That's right.
Because where was it?
That's page 265. That's what I was.
625.
625. That's what I said. Okay. Let's see.
I'm thinking the ways with the breaking of the world.
He said,
Okay.
I was set to guard it long, long ago, but it makes me uneasy to come too close. I feel myself being unmade. My end is linked with it somehow. I remember the making of it. Some of the making. It was the first days of the breaking of the world, when the joy of victory over the Dark One turned bitter with the knowledge that all might yet be shattered by the weight of the shadow.
So this happened after the last age.
100 of them made it, men and women together. The greatest Aes Sedai works were always done so, joining Saidin and Saidar as the true source is joined. They died all to make it pure, so to cleanse it from the taint. While the world was torn around them. Knowing they would die, they charged me to guard it against the need to come. It was not what I was made for, but all was breaking apart, and they were alone, and I was all they had. I have kept the faith until it was needed, and now it ends. I mean, he's really kind of a downer when you think about it.
Yeah.
Well, do you suppose he knows that his time is up?
Absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah, he just said it. So.
well, yeah.
Or he knows the eye's time is up. One
Right.
of the two. But he did say, he's like, I'll catch up with you afterward if I can.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So, I don't know. But for him to be guarding it that long, it's also kind of like the last night in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Guarding the Grail.
Yep. Wait, he was the Frenchman, right? We've already got one?
No.
Fetch it a mouse.
No, that was.
That's my
Oh,
Python. What?
No, I know. I was gonna make a joke.
About
Oh.
which?
Come on. What was?
We have this wooden badger.
Jeez.
No, it was the Indiana Jones, it's like, hey, we want to make an Indiana Jones movie without the Indiana Jones license, and I was like, Rosetta Stone, but
The
that
Mummy.
wasn't it. No,
The librarian.
no,
Oh, National Treasure?
no,
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
no. Okay, move on. I'm gonna Google it because you guys are gonna. Just
You're a
not
great
get it.
Googleizer.
This meat's a little stronger than
Maybe a little
we
stronger
realized,
than
but
that 15%.
yeah. So, what else do we want to talk about?
So,
So how about Rand being in two places? So he's at the Eye, he's in this battle, but he's also in Tarwin's Gap, and apparently takes out the Trollocs and the Drakkar, and then has his face to face with Baalzamon.
well, and he
Yes.
sees his mother.
Yeah. And I kind of
How
think that
weird was that?
But I think it felt like it might have really been her. The way that it was portrayed, it wasn't portrayed as though she was in danger or that help me. It was
Romancing
more.
the Stone.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I forgot about that one.
Sorry,
But
go
like,
ahead.
but this was I kind of thought about this as
I was not on that page at all.
in Harry Potter when they went into the pensive.
Oh yeah.
So like, was this someone else's memory, or was he truly there? Was this him in a past life, in that moment, or was he there as a spectator watching? Like
with Rand's mom, or
yeah, like I couldn't quite tell how, like, he was there, but was he actually through the eyes of a past life, or was it?
So I got the impression that this might have been legit, like she was like her soul was actually trapped,
Sure.
and he was able to free her.
Yeah. I kind of got that
like the
feeling
prison.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm with you.
Yeah.
With you.
It's just because he thought he heard basically like the thank you son, right?
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah.
Boy, that was rough though, because you saw.
Man,
Yeah, I mean, I can't even imagine.
Like, talk about getting put through the ringer, right?
Because he had talked all along how he was raised by his father Tam. You never really talk about his mother until now.
Well,
Yeah, but even after
didn't-
he does his thing and she says, "Thank you, my son, the light, the blessed light." So, like you said, I mean, he
yeah.
may have freed her from where
Right,
she was
and
at,
I don't
or
remember.
freed her soul.
I don't remember like way back to the beginning of the book, like, she died when he was pretty young, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, but that just speaks to the power of Baalzamon, that he's like, he figures out which of the kids he's after, and he's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
one of them has a dead mom, I can use that.
Well, even in death, he can still find use for someone.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and they make no bones about that. They keep telling him, whether it's Agenor or whether it's Baalzamon, it's like, we can still use you dead.
Mhm.
We would prefer you alive, but we can
Yeah.
still use you dead,
Oof.
which is not a very cheerful prospect,
No.
right? So,
What about the voices Rand hears, though, when he's...
oh, the shouty cat voices? Yeah.
It's not here. I will take no part. Only the chosen one can do what must be done if he will. Not here.
So there's been a lot of speculation. Is this the creator
Mm-hmm.
speaking to him in this moment, or what is it, right?
Or I don't want to get spoilery, but is it a former dragon that's speaking through
Yeah.
him too?
Right. Because everything's cyclical.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, yeah.
I could definitely see that if it were a past life, or... I mean,
Well, I mean,
right.
if he's truly reborn, then
Yeah.
he's not just Rand. He's Rand and all the other dragons that have been
Exactly.
before him.
Yeah.
So he should be able to harness the power of those who
Grayskull.
came before him.
Right.
Wait, what?
Power of Grayskull?
have the power!
Chris said he'd been watching the new episodes.
Dude,
so-
I binged
Oh,
the
okay.
whole season
Did you?
in one night.
That's impressive.
It's really good.
Did Kevin Smith have something to do with that one?
Yeah,
That's
it
what I
was
thought.
like his brainchild,
Was it?
and it is
Good.
so good. It's 5 episodes. They're each like 25 minutes
Oh,
apiece.
that's not so bad.
So it's doable.
You can do that in
Like
couple-
I did
an hour and a half.
I did 5 of them in one night, and I was like, oh, I'll finish tomorrow. And then I was like,
That's it.
well, shit, that was the end. That was the end.
What are you going to do tomorrow night?
I can't believe they beep.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right.
yeah. The interesting thing is, though, like, as soon as like Rand channels and like starts like
Mhm.
fighting back, and he's like transported to Tarwin's Gap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's the part that's still like a little confusing to me, where all of a sudden he's there,
Yeah,
and like people
yeah.
notice him, and then all of a sudden there's a staircase, and he goes up the staircase, and then there's Baalzamon. Like, there are things in this book that I read, and I'm like, yeah, that's a logical progression. That makes sense. I can see how we got there. This is not one of them for
Mhm.
me.
Well, it's like, did he physically go there, or did he appear there?
Yeah.
Between the two
Right.
armies, and then, he recognized it, but then he saw these stairs that may not have actually been in Tarwin's Gap, but it's wherever he's.
Like, we should
It is
cue, like
rhymed,
Stairway
or-
to Heaven.
Sure.
There's a lady. Oh, sorry.
We don't want to have copyright infringement.
Oh, that's a good point. It's a good thing Ellie
Yeah.
sang
I think you can use like so many seconds of it, can't you?
Something like
3
that.
words. I sang 3 words. We're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, the entire progression to get up to Baalzamon seemed very, very like dreamlike, or
It's
very
like metaphysical.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
That's-
almost
Which
wonder
would
if
kind of
that-
go with the Led Zeppelin theme.
It
you know?
would, but I think that's my complaint with this whole end scene, right?
Well, it's because he's got so many mechanics for all these different pieces, and then all of a sudden you go to this kind of ethereal thing where he's in 2 places at once, and
But
it's-
yeah.
I almost feel like that's maybe intentional from the writer's perspective.
Well, I
of,
guarantee it is.
but, like,
it-
this is
as
a
a reader, it's
Right.
hard to follow,
Mhm.
especially as like me, who's like read through this
Sure.
series several times.
Yeah.
It's like I still don't get it.
yeah.
not to be spoilery, but this isn't the only time that happens, if I remember right.
But is it just like
I think there's some other books
Yeah.
where he appears in places that he isn't necessarily present.
Yeah.
which made me wonder, A, is Baalzamon really dead? Is he like
Well, we know he's not
Or
dead.
is
He's
Baalzamon
imprisoned.
really Baalzamon?
Mhm.
yeah, right. Is it who or what is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
because
it
we know there's one
the
Forsaken
shadow?
that's loose.
True.
That was mentioned. So.
Ishmael.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Ishmael?
Call me Ishmael.
Because Ishmael
Oh wait,
is
that
like
was
a book,
that was Moby
right?
Dick.
You can call me Al.
Come on, Eileen. No?
That sounded dirty when you say it that way.
Well,
come on. Wait.
But anyway, it was a very
have
confusing.
some more mead, Chip.
It was a
Have
very
some more
confusing
mead.
end.
I should.
But I think in part that could be attributed
I'll have some more
to
mead.
the confusing, albeit powerful nature
Yeah, take
of
the cap off.
You can do that.
Sorry,
the
Brian.
true source. I feel like because at this point we know that there's a fly in there. We know that the man, this is derailing quickly, isn't it? We know
fly's
how
fault.
confusing the one source can be. It is new to Rand. Rand doesn't know what's going on, and now we're getting from his perspective.
It's you, Brian.
We're getting his perspective of what's happening, but I think he's confused just like we are. Like,
That's a good point.
Clearly, yes.
Yeah, because
He
we are
has
still
no
in
idea
his
what's
point of
going
view,
on.
so
Yeah.
we don't see it from...
from the absolute truth.
I
We're
think
seeing
we-
it from his perceived view of the
Right,
truth.
and I think as we go to the end of the book, we'll hear kind of other people's views of what happened, but...
Yes.
I was about to say we can't end the episode until the bottle's empty, but I think the bottle's empty now. Oh, not quite.
Fill it up.
Oh, there's a splash left.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bottle's empty. All right, goodbye. No, just kidding.
So to see if this one goes well, then we're going to have to do meat episodes every week.
Episodes, meat episodes. Well, you brought back whiskey from Minnesota, so we can do that
We
next
can
time.
do that next
Yeah.
time.
So,
That was a full liter bottle. too,
I know,
so-
it dwarfs
Be a
my
lot of
other
whiskey.
bottles. Yeah, the takeaways for me here are piecing together like those cords that are tethered to the channelers,
Mm-hmm.
and the realization by Rand that Agonor's was brightly colored and Baalzamon's is black.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the takeaway there that is going to carry forward to the other books.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got some unknowns, right? Because Chip, you mentioned like Lan just straight up disappeared when he got thrown against the
Yep.
wall. Nynaeve, who attacked the Forsaken after they did that to Lan, got severely messed up.
And
Like,
the tree,
even-
and the tree that the Green
Yeah.
Man turned into kind of grew up around where she had fallen.
like
Yeah.
to cradle her, right?
Right.
So you've got that, and like what happened to Egwene? What were Perrin and Matt
Well,
doing?
Perrin and Matt got kind of thrown around too at the beginning,
Right.
didn't they? Because they tried to attack and
And then Moraine was like screaming after she faced
Yeah.
them or faced Agonor. So
Mhm.
there are still many unanswered parts, which we will get to next time. This
And
has
was
been,
the eye used up? I mean,
Right.
Was the whole
Have we
Saidin?
depleted
It's true.
So
Oh, that's a good point.
so now every time male channelers have to channel, are they gonna
They have to touch the tank.
suck on the taint?
Another drink.
More mead. I hope you
Yeah.
enjoy drunken Eye of the World conversations. Because we do.
But if you have comments or would like to do any clarifications or amplifications, please use the comment section below because we love to talk to our
Or
listeners.
if Big Lost Meadery would like to sponsor our
Yes.
Or if you are a meadery proprietor yourselves, please let us know in the comments.
Empty it out. Yes, we will happily drink your mead on air. Okay, so we're gonna end this by saying please click the like button if you enjoyed our slow degeneration into ridiculousness. We invite you to click the subscribe button and the notification bell so that when we post new content, which is usually on Thursdays, you get notified. And lastly, the next episode will conclude The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. And we hope you will tune in to see how everything pans out. We will be doing a couple more episodes on this before moving on to our next book. Brian has picked out our next book.
I have, and I'm not telling these two nor you quite yet.
Yes, you are. I already bought it.
Shh.
Did you?
Oh! I mean, I don't know what the book is.
I'm not telling them on air. We'll put it that way.
That's accurate. All
Stay
right.
tuned.
Stay tuned. And lastly, if you enjoy throwing your money away, we invite you to check out our Patreon link in the description.
Because Chris is out of mead.
because I'm out of mead, and I'm an excellent salesman. All right, we will see you next time to wrap up this book, and in the meantime,
Alon